Welcome back to the coverage here in Grenoble of the European Ultimate Federation Spring Tour Series. Women's division action about to unfold for you between BFD Shout and Woof. Italians versus Belgians here in one of the two women's pools in Grenoble. This is Pool A. Our closing games are happening concurrently. Woof BFD and Fabulous Grut, just to kind of jostle for those final positions. At the moment, it looks like BFD Shout and Grut will be taking their positions into semi-finals, and the lower pool will be fought out by the rest of the pack. Woof have had one win so far in the tournament, but have been putting some pretty decent scorelines up against the top set. 12-8. They had the game against Grut and 14-7 against Fabulous. But generally speaking, we do expect an Italian win, of course, defending champions from last season, who will be playing, by the looks of things, in their dark blue. So in terms of players to watch for Woof, certainly you're going to be wanting to look out for Axel van der Velde, who has been eating up the stats for this team. Lewis Kopjans as well. But it's been a pretty evenly spread affair for the Belgian ladies. Apologies. The games have been flipped on me. We don't have Woof BFD. This is Fabulous Grut. Thank you very much for the correction. Our man on the scene, Nemo, doing all the hard work. So while we've told you about some of the opponents then that these two teams have faced in the earlier standings, just refresh our pages and we'll tell you how these two. We did see Fabulous on the live stream yesterday, and this will be our first look at Grut. So this potentially is an effort for Fabulous to get themselves into those semi-final berths, but certainly pleased to have on the Grut roster a certain Aurora Lashnik back into the fold. So Grut will be in the blue though, and Fab playing in white. You can still hear that wind, same as yesterday, a bit sunnier and hopefully a touch warmer conditions today than yesterday. Plenty of layers still on, but this is nice movement from Grut. Just playing calm, possession-based ultimate. You can see the timing isn't perfect, but that looks to be the speed of Florklords. Getting the first spot on the board. And so our first goal in this game will be an offensive hold for Grut. So Fabulous on the disc. Just moving it nicely upfield. Stack relatively far away, trying to give themselves space on the underneath. Oh, but a huge layout bid. It's going to interrupt the flow. Can they make anything of it? Lovely flow towards the break side. Thinks about the big put, but holsters. Casual dish back. Inside shot. That is very zesty indeed. The overthrow for short. Susanna Slob. It's getting a little bit too hasty. But Lashnik, I think, was that got that layout deep. Returning to the fields, the Slovenian athlete. If memory serves. Just come back from CrossFit. But Fab looking to set something up here. There's an opportunity, but shuffles back. This is solid pressure from the match coverage of Grut. Arcs across, trying to connect, but this is really nice tight match defense coming out of Grut's set and putting plenty of pressure, heaps even, on this side. So, the layout bid cannot bring that one back in. So just not able to connect on these throws. So on the goal line, knocking around. See a little bit more lateral spread from the set of Fab. Nice recovery. Inside shot. It cannot be run down. You can hear it in your speakers, but I just want to add a little bit of attention to the level of wind here on the fields. It is an absolutely gorgeous location in Grenoble. When the camera tilts up a little bit, you can see beautiful mountain views. It does make the breeze a bit stronger and the conditions a bit more challenging, but this is better from Grut. Trying to get things moving, but again, an overthrow. That cohesion not quite there. And there, at long last, we do have that pass for the goal sent by Azra Advakic, who is the leading assister for this fabulous side. Been eating up the stats board. But that wasn't the best counter-attack offense from the ladies of Grut. And just couldn't quite find each other. Lots of overthrows that were valiant bids were made to try and get there. Let's not be joking around. And we love to see that kind of effort on a Sunday morning. First game of the day for both of these teams. So hopefully they can shake off any sleepy thoughts in the early stages. So one apiece, currently up, just by virtue of trading up. And a cheeky bit of zone being played by Fabulous, the Swiss side. Goulart's with an offhand backhand. Just jogging in. We see a melt and match coverage. So 1-to-1 defense now. Janssen pops back. Sydney Raider wearing that number 90. Someone relatively new to the Grut machine. Now Flora High. Or Hay. Oh, that is a powerful shot, but it is going to make the distance. And it has to against the wind as well. Justine van der Meulen puts one. I think that was in the path of Floor Clerts, who's recently started an Instagram to track her fitness journey. If that's the kind of thing you're into. Many athletes who play Ultimate Frisbee have been doing that work because they all put the work in. Of course, none of these players are fully professional athletes. They're not paid to attend these many, many tournaments across the season. They do it because they love it. And of course, lots of these Swiss and Dutch players have been playing since their days as juniors. Two nations in Europe who generally actually have fantastic development for their youth. Certainly the Swiss mixed team at the European Youth Championships last year did some real damage. But we're starting to see the fruits of the coaching sets of Dutch women's programs of old. Starting to really pay dividends at this stage. There's a player right in the centre of your view at the bottom there, that number 4 shirt. That's Lola Dam, who's returned to a full season of competitive Frisbee this year. We could not be more delighted. In the centre of your view now, 17 for the Swiss, that's Olivia Hauser. Absolute legend. Pit call though, as we get caught up in traffic. Disc in the hand of Sarah Klauser, one of the rising stars for Swiss Ultimate. Represented Switzerland last year, I think. Oh, that is a spicy shot that's easily picked off by the defence. Nida Hauser having an idea of taking a leaf out of Grut's playbook from their last goal. Now, can the D-line offence make anything of it? No. It's an overshot that's going to be punished by a poach off of the back player. Oh, that's a lovely throw, but a lovely D to just tipple the disc away, and she caught it. Well, I tell you what, I would have thought that might have been a defensive block that stood. We're all watching on screens together, folks, but that was mighty impressive composure. This brought in by Zara Glauser. Score currently 2 apiece. No breaks managed yet. But it has been the fabulous O-line that has been turned over repeatedly. Of course, this is the deciding game as to who will advance into semi-finals. In the early stages, it does look to be Grut who have that extra little bit of special something when they're coming out on offense. But can the D-line of Fabulous change their fortunes? A couple of extra steps for Van der Meulen. Ooh, requires the turn for Coularts, but all fine. Oh, but there we see the error. Just a bit of timing mismanagement. And our first mistake from Grut line so far this game. See if they can bring the disc back. Stalkout starting to rise. Excellent handler matchup. But it does allow that big one into space. It's going to be his overshot, though, down the sideline. The pressure from the tight handler matchup clearly just causing some issues. And a slow walk to the line to get things started again for Grut. Van der Meulen. Pops it back across. Nice take. Oh, Fab doing everything in their power to try and interrupt these passes. Coulards on the far side, back to Van der Meulen. Those two real dynamic threats upfield, allowing space both sides of the disc. Things so clustered. Look how closely to that far sideline everyone for Grut is sort of pulled together, but it does open up plenty of acreage on the break side, and they find their footing and punch in the goal. 3-2 to Grut. Scorekeepers signalling for time between these points. It was becoming quite an elongated stoppage. Of course, massive thanks as always to all of our volunteer scorekeepers. Doing an absolute fantastic job. If you want to follow along with all the stats action, you can go to eucs-schedule.ultimatefederation.eu and see all of the results as they happen from the various spring tour events underway. So Fab looking to even things back up. Nice little rundown there. Alvia gets a bit distracted by the outfield, but we don't mind it. Oh, that one's going to go to turf, though. Slightly undercooked throw, perhaps, from Hodstedler. It's a real chance here for the D-line of Grut to grab themselves, snaffle a break. Inside laser shot, pick call, though, so we're going to have a reset of positions. Fair was a bit suspiciously open for the shot from Scholten. Takes the easy reset to Lushnik instead. Breaks around. Nice loose mark. Just stemming that flow. You can see how Halser just stands off on that shoulder. Just saying, yeah, sure, try and throw a big gainer around the back of me if you've got the reach. Nice backhand break again from Lashnik. There's a little corkscrew. There comes the fiery shot from the inside. We don't quite catch the tail end of it, but great throw from Aurora Lashnik. So that will be the first break of score. Yes, break of score for the game. Aurora Leshnik getting her second assist in a row, this time hitting Susanna Slob. And Fab looking a touch dejected. We did see them have quite the grinder fight yesterday in their matchup against BFD Shout. So we're going to get the same O-line, more or less, coming out for Fabulous. We're going to get a second chance. Let's just punch in that hold. But Grut taking the early break to extend their natural advantage. Lushnik staying on for a third point in a row. Lashing that bolt. Decent yardage, but it landing out of bounds is going to give the brick. You can see Grut hustling to surround and dampen the first set of place. It's a split stack upfield. Nice handoff. Lushnik working alongside Marta Kulim. Big old shot into the deep space. The defender kept a little bit out of it. Glauser seeking options and an easy post, but it is taken away by the defender, who immediately shoots it deep. And it's caught. I can tell it's caught just by virtue of the celebration from the teammates of this Dutch side on the sideline. Getting enthusiasm behind every effort. Looks like Lola Dam. Oh yes, has to be with that casual toss pass to the front cone. And that is a second break in a row after a beautiful shot for Fabulous that really opened up the field. They got a bit too hasty on the goal line. And a quick counter-attack gives the Dutch women a 3-point advantage now, 5-2 for the women of Grut. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout. So if you want to grab yourself a refreshing beverage, now's the time to do so. So the timeout now over. If you're Fabulous, and right now it's just about composure. The systems are working. The flow is good. But it's just about making sure they just focus on every single pass. The wind remains ever present in our ears. Ever challenging. So the initiation play clearly trying to expand in towards the deep space. Things clustering a little bit together. Fab need to just keep their lateral spread. Oh, that's a big old ask. Way too much juice on that one. You can see the option that was trying to be hit by Azra Advokic, but just a bit too much mustard on it for the intended target in the end zone. Not quite the focus that I mentioned is going to be required if they're going to hang tough here in this match against Grut. Because Grut's D-line had their problems on offense starting off the game, but they seem to have worked through some of those. So some solid poaching into the lane, very intelligent defense from Fabulous. Going to require a bit of creativity to Dam, but she's more than capable of going that. Leshnik gets blocked. Nice running grab. Oh, and a beautiful put through as well. Great flow. Rindisbacher setting that one up nicely. And so that is a much needed hold to keep themselves within reach of their opponents. Fabulous currently trailing 5-3 against Grut here in women's pool play A. So we know that at this stage, we're guaranteed more or less to have a Tequila Boom Boom and BFD Shout into the semi-finals later on this afternoon. That would be, if I were a gambling person, that would be my money on those. So the contested games, this one right in front of us. And Jet Set catch up potentially. Who's going to be the team advancing? They've got to go win their games. The two have already played each other. That happened yesterday. Universe point finish on our live stream. Won't spoil the result, but well worth watching back with the lovely Dimmy on comms. Back to the action here. Grut again facing up against the Fabulous zone. Didn't cause too many problems last time we saw it come out of the pocket. And certainly they advance nicely. Oh, an expansive shot, but it's going to be picked off by the waiting defender. I'm not really sure which player that was directed to, but it does fall foul, drifting near the one under double coverage. We have seen the O-line of Grut, and it's going to be Justine van der Meulen who gets the block, takes a little bit of collateral damage coming back down from it. She got a bit knocked on the shin. Hopefully she'll be okay. She has been quite a key part of this game so far. Of course, bringing a wealth of experience. Does van der Meulen. She will be replaced by what looks to be possibly Horgab. Coularts, though, comes straight out of the blocks, gets herself into position, has so much separation. All she has to do is figure out what's going on with the disc and put herself in prime position to make the catch. There's lots of emphatic hand movement from Lara Niederhauser, but it's an unfortunate, fortunate moment. Anyone that's ever marked Flora Coularts, I have the pleasure of being in that team. She really is an athlete where you have to just be on your toes from -3. That 3-2-1. You have to be mindful. You have to be actively trying to take something away. And if you can use your body positioning to close the gate towards the end zone, that's usually a great place to start. But of course, that is the difference maker between playing good defense and just chasing your athlete around the pitch, is to take something away with your positioning. And what both teams have been doing very well is sagging into lanes, reading the play off of static setups particularly, and using their positioning very effectively to make their opponent's job very hard. Glauser running away towards the deep space, but it's going to be the pop back. Nice grab for Halser. Or is that Adjikovic? Oh, big effort, nearly absolutely floors. Now almost slow motion. That is Halser in the light blue long sleeve. Doesn't like any of the underneath options. Is going to throw a spicy disc that's easy pickings for the defender. Lashnik. Dishes it across, plenty of space. Oh, that's Kulan's in the deep space, just hanging around. A little bit of a bump, but great boxing, making the defender go up way earlier than where the disc ended up landing, and a casual dish over both of the Fab players to get the goal. Always a difficult situation you find yourself in playing one-on-one defense in the end zone such as that, especially when you have the wind behind you and you can just throw that lovely soft backhand dish over the head. So another one on the board for Grut. They bring themselves within one of taking the first half. These games are being played to 15 soft cap. Total points tally. There have been only one timeout taken so far in this game. And now a second one will be. So I'm going to grab myself a brief bit of water. It's thirsty work commentating, but don't go anywhere. Obviously, the VO stream will continue to see how the rest of this first half develops. So the timeout is over. I hope you're enjoying this coverage of the Spring Tour events this season. Brought to you by the European Ultimate Federation. And of course, using the tech-powered VEO cameras. If you've not seen them, they look like little frogs high in the sky on the pole cam. You'll notice a slight gentle sway. That is by virtue of the weather conditions. It is windy as heck. It's a lovely bit of offense though. Oh, going for it. It's going to be a big chase down from the defender, but great matchup there. Oh, and throws a lovely around backhand that this time is going to pay off. Azra Advokic there. This time, just running into the deep space. Marta Kulen did have a decent effort at getting the defensive block, but just was not to be. And a lovely throw from Ramona Rindlisbacher. Zurich. Rindlisbacher, one of the Swiss juniors. Played for the under-20s. Back in Padova last season. Some very exciting games. Zara Glauser as well on that under-20 mixed team. Ended up taking the gold medal. A very exciting game against Hungary. So lots of youth talent here from both teams. Oh, and that's a bit of a spoil on the far side. Injury for Justine van der Meulen. There is no call signalled by Lashnik, but van der Meulen will be replaced by Dam, which is a great set for a team that's about to go play defence to try and get their offensive possession back. We did see van der Meulen coming off for an injury sub earlier on in this game, so perhaps that is going to be a bit of a lasting knock. She may have to sit the rest of this game out and just rely on her teammates to get that semi-final berth. Oh, that's going to be picked off, though. What a great throw. I say picked off, I meant picked up. And that is the first break back for Fabulous. 7-5. They're going to need a couple more in the tank. Still lead by 2 breaks. But that drop on the far sideline could prove costly. So the coaching set for Grut being urged off the field by the whistles of the scorekeepers. And if you've never considered volunteering at an ultimate event, or perhaps this is your first time watching this lovely sport, welcome, welcome. Maybe you're a friend of one of the athletes on the stream. Nice movement across. There's Grut trying to keep things calm. Dam coming across, pulling some double duty. A little stumble, but all fine. Flora height. Puts it into the path. Oh, Clarkson's going to have to make a huge play to redeem that throw. It's not the intended shape, I'm sure. I think that was Loostekron. Didn't quite put enough shape on that one, but you've got 2 dogged defenders in the centre of the pitch. Lovely one into space. Had to think about it. But Vidveg puts it through. Oh, and this time The hand does come in. There's going to be a foul call by the looks of it. Paula Hinkle saying that she didn't quite enjoy the amount of contact coming through there. Paula Hinkle, another of those under-20s mixed players from last season in Padova. I might have to do a little quick spreadsheet for you folks and tell you exactly how many of these fabulous athletes went to that fabulous performance at the junior division level last season. But back in action. Easy swing across. There's big old separation downfield in the centre spot. Big run from the entire pack. It is a fab player that emerges in the last moments, but not quite there. So Grut have another opportunity here to punch in their offense. Just need to remain patient. Dan with a little spin move in front of the disc, but the throw isn't there. Was left mostly alone in that space, but it's a difficult one to react to and hit. And there is the goal. Yes, indeed. The camera not quite tracking on the left side of the end zone, getting excited by other movement on the pitch, but we know what's going on just by virtue, again, of those excellent celebrations coming from the sideline. So, what a change, folks. We are back on serve. That's a Cerule throwing that last pass. A lovely spread of the action so far, especially for Fabulous. Could have been a touch more top heavy. Kularks, of course, snagging those 3 goals so far. 2 of the breaks for the D-line. In fact, no, I take it back. It's all been 0 points for Flora. But surprisingly, no timeout being taken by Grut at this stage. They do definitely need to refocus themselves. I think whatever was said in the last timeout from the Swiss side seems to have done the trick. So another attempt to take half from Grut. Oh, Janssen with a big throw into the deep space, right underneath it. But it's a defensive block. There is a bit of contact. Sydney Veda currently on the floor. I like that change of the positioning, though. She has been largely hanging around the handler set during the course of this match. Players getting some perspective from other individuals to discuss this foul call. So we've got a hand signal for a retraction. I'm wondering if that's Cerule that got the block. See if we can get a tilt of the shirt at some point. Nice switching upfield. Yeah, it's Cerule, the Latvian, that got that defensive play over the top, but Kularts snags the disc away. Janssen swinging across. Happy to take the negative yards. Oh, that's a beautiful dish to the break side. Jan Janssen uses that delicate wingspan and throws a lovely backhand break. And that, at long last, will be half taken by Grut. 8-6. So they still have that one break advantage. But Fab have proven they can be on the chart. So we're going to take a brief break for half. Feel free to go get yourself a little snack to reward yourself from having powered through one half of Ultimate. But of course, we'll see how this second half continues. What a thriller we now have, thanks to the grind and fabulous defense of the Swiss ladies. So coming into the second half, ooh, as the wind tries to explode our eardrums. It is wild and windy, hairy, scary out there. So we see a little bit of the further field. It's going to get our... We'll reduce the level of wind you can hear in your ears, ever so slightly. We do love our Ultimate fans, so thank you so much for joining us. We take care of you. So Aurora Lashnik looks to be wandering towards the disc, readying for the pole. So the Swiss will start on offense for the second half. See if they can continue to roll through this game. Seems that the loss of Justine van der Meulen has been quite pivotal. Since that second injury call, I don't think we have seen her on the pitch for Grut. Well, she does add many years of wisdom and experience to this Dutch side. How's it getting us started? But no mark comes in for Legenhager for quite some time. Avicic now over to Hauser. It's lovely, calm offense, but Hauser just doesn't have the gas in the tank to run that one all the way down. Lasnik going for the deep cut, but double coverage. Curious choice to go for that one quite so quickly. It's not really a time-based situation. So I'm seeing perhaps some of the overly zesty play from the D-line that we saw in the early stages of the first half. Glauser. Oh, Hauser again. Just half a step off making that one good. Now, is it going to be a bit more conservatism? Again, well, I tell you what, these ladies love their inside shots. That slicing forehand throw, live and die by the sword. There's many that have come off, have fallen into the turf. But that one is good enough, and that's the break to start the second half. Susanna Slob opening it up to Lindewitz. And that will be 9-6, their lead now over Fabulous. You just need to throw the right pace for the right player. course, Halsa is a player you really want to have her hands around the disc. So many years of wisdom. But I think it's probably fair to say she doesn't quite have the pace of some of the juniors on the squad. So we won't see her on this point. It's going to be a different set. Leading the charge for this next, what we all hope will be a goal. Because whether you're a Dutch fan or a Swiss fan, we all enjoy a close, hotly contested game. So, zone being played by Grut. Very tight cup indeed. The Swiss not really adjusting super well. A little bit clustered on that far side, which allows that cup to poach further in. It is the space, though. Lovely find laterally. And now taking the disc for a bit of a walk. Oh, but that's an overshot for sure. There's a tasty target, but look at that good heads-up defense, immediately trying to put the pressure on. You could not ask any more of Lisa Riegenberg. Having been overshot, disc sailing past her, nothing she could do. She does everything she can to try and put that one on ice, but unfortunately, just too good a throw, and that'll be a 10-6 lead now for Grut. After that very quick counter-attack throw. So 10-6. Grut now chasing down their pull. Love the little time warp from the Veer cam for some of the players as they run things down. This is where Grut could potentially tighten the screws. Ooh, it's a high shot, but well handled. Does look like Hofstedler on that far sideline. Big bid from Lushnik. It doesn't phase anybody. Nice arcing swing to Cerule. Big backhand. That might be a bridge too far. Can she make the bid? Oh, not quite. Just runs out of room on that far sideline. With a nice idea. So, big old poach off that far side handler. Trying to put the pressure on, threatened Callahan. But they're well underway now. Dam seeking options, trying to engage anybody to come back underneath. That looks like Janssen. It's a little cheeky one to Schlotten. Or Scholten, sorry. Pick call will have us reset. Let's see Janne Janssen just returning to the stack there. Oh, that's going to require quite the rundown, but the wind just sails it away. And immediately off to the deep space trots Sarina Saili. Zurulek threatening that big up line. Flying Lashnik. Oh, that's going to be a bit too much hang time. Color bats it away. Lovely separation. Oh, yes, that is beautiful work, but it's just too much on the throw. Linda Witz puts everything on the line to try and reel that in. But a little bit too hasty. Could have put days worth of touch on that huck. But obviously the windy conditions do make things a little bit more challenging than they otherwise would be. But that one's bopped off the knees. Just a lot of pressure. Oh, inside shot that goes straight again. They love the inside throws, De Grut, but I say they're not always paying up for them. Scholten shooting it into traffic, but this is becoming very back and forthy. Janssen going to pick up. Almost half expected there to be a timeout call to just try and clean things up. Lashnik losing it to the far side. Good catch. Oh, the hand block recatch. And then throws it straight through Lashnik's legs. This point's giving us a little bit of everything. Curiouser and curiouser, but I think it's starting to grind away at the legs, potentially, of both sides. There are lots of young athletes out here on the pitch, but pick call. Could see that one coming. Searly. Going to find every way to say the number 2 from Fabulous's name. Janssen coming in and putting pressure on that. Solid connections on the far sideline. Interestingly, Janssen had taken off to that side even earlier. Oh, Lashnik underneath it, going for a second effort. Oh, big play. And some of the players do like it. Didn't quite catch that. Dam calls it in. And so do the players. You did get a great view of that. You just saw the little spread legs on the landing of the great bid of Aurora Lashnik, keeping that disc alive after the defensive play was made by Fabulous. So Grut now extending their lead. 11-6. Really in control of this game. Although we have seen Fabulous string together quite a few on the bounce. With a good spread as well of the individuals getting involved. Linda Witz has been all over the end zone in more recent times for Grut. But now is when Fab needs to start refinding that magic. So another look at this zone. Oh, spicy effort. But see how he coming out of position in that way really opened up that left-hand side, also near-hand side, as we kind of have it on our view for the zone. Got too hungry. You've got to go for your opportunities where you see them. But it does involve a risk and reward. That one just slices through the fingertips. Love the little back pedal there. Great work from Rinlis Bakker, just thinking about how much she can eke out yards-wise. That's the sail over the top and be redeemed just shy of the goal line and popped in. My goodness, that sailed over about 3 heads. But it was one that worked out for Fabulous. Not their most fabulously clean offense, but it worked. And that is the important part. So they stem the flow for a little while. Niederhauser, the Redeemer, popping that one through to Lisa Regenberg. So Fabulous looking to try and snag themselves a new run of breaks. They've done it before. They know how to do it. Largely trying to pressure these handler resets from Grut. Make them as difficult and challenging as possible. And there we go. That is where the block is generated. Just really shutting down the near side plate. And that block for Cynthia Deus. Oh, it's a spicy throw, but it's going to work out beautifully. Just sat up on the breeze. What a shot. Well, that is the first break of many required to change the fate in this game. 11-8 the score currently. So 3 breaks to put us back trading down, back on serve. So, of course, the first goal did go in favour of Grut. And the breaks coming out into the second half denied the leveller. But if you're in the Grut camp, this is fine. Fabulous are a good team. They are going to take the odd break off of you. But can they maintain their composure here? Again, looking for that handler reset pressure. Trying to think about the angles and attack the disc at the right moments. You can see the Swiss sideline just underneath the pitch, as our view has it. Of course, Fab, Flying Angels burn. Fabulous, the women's team iteration. See Coulart's trying to shake off the matchup. Nearly a cheeky poach from the off-handler. I like that lane poach, but maybe a bit more commitment. But easy flow for Grut. Now the give goes. Plenty of vocal support. No around, but a high release inside flick in windy conditions. That is not an easy throw to pull off. Sort of an elevator style release by the looks from this angle. Looks to be another on the board for Grut, and I think into the hands of Flora Coulart's. Oh, of course, it's Anna Minard. How have we not talked about Anna Minard yet? Huge player last season, and for many seasons before that. Well, that's it. Yeah, it now makes sense as to why that was a high release inside flick. Always a lover of a spicy option. So, needs to be a hold for Fab to keep things alive. We've had just over an hour of game time. in this matchup. There's an out of bounds pull. It's going to be brought into the brick mark. Big old poach from Kuhlens. It's a Swiss connect on an underneath shot. Oh, that is a devilish flick. Huck nearly got redeemed, but great positioning from the defender. Left nothing for the intended target, but the potential garbage collection. Lefty flick to Lola Dam. This pops it back. The dad backhand up the line. Oh, lovely lead throw up the line. Teensy travel, but oh, that's a really nice inside shot, actually. Centering pass. Looking for an option on the goal line and throws, strangely, directly into the defender. So not surprising to see a foul discussion happening there. Selina Scholten, I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to throw directly into the fabulous player. But it was definitely a higher stall situation. So looks like that one is going to be coming back to Scholten. And it'd be, if it's a contested foul, and the maximum it can come in on is 6. And as the camera gets distracted by the action happening on the field behind, we don't hate it if there is a stoppage. So there was a turnover. Of what nature the turnover was, well, unfortunately, do not know. But that's a lovely grab. Advokic cleaning things up. Pops through. There is the Huck. Oh, that is beautiful separation downfield. And it is going to be, I think, Nida Halser with the goal. It's either that or Hannah Egger. I definitely saw a number with the second number of 4. And that is the much needed hold for Fab to keep themselves. It was indeed Laura Niederhauser and Lisa Ringenberg ringing the bell to send that one flying. So lots of our women's division games in Grenoble are coming towards the end of their conclusion. Of course, we have a full points cap, maximum points of 15. So Grut, 3 points away, but an early turnover. What a gift for Fabulous. Cerula picked up. Oh, there's an inside shot, and it is an absolute scorcher. Wow. What a beautiful throw that was, directly into the path of Janneke Kappelman. You cannot ask for a better gift than that. So they ease up the distance. Rather than going on a run of 3, it's little pecks at this lead, 11-7. Or 7-11 if you want the slurpy time, as Steph Rapazzo likes to say. Well, that's 2 on the bounce in quick succession. And now it really is feeling quite real. But Fabulous might sneak away with a win here, which would see them sneak into the second berth in Pool B. At the moment, on goal difference, it would be Grut if there was a tie between the two, but head-to-head is the decider. So Grut looking to stay calm and composed and just ride out this lead of one break at this point, because remember they did start the game on offense and punched it in. We do have Van der Meulen back on the pitch, I think. Oh, great grab from Anna Minard. Over to Janssen. The line screaming for the no around, but it's snuck out by De Groen. Minard. Oh, just opens it up a little bit off-gassed. I think Minard might be perhaps having a bit of a struggle. Perhaps a small injury just from the way she's moving, which might be why we've not seen her as much impacting this game. She is coming on now. There seems to have been some sort of call before that one. So perhaps a pick well before the throw, which means it will go back. Of course, Coulart's doing the correct thing by just continuing to make plays, just in case. So a high stall starting. That one goes out in the lane, and it is back, well, this time in the hands of Coulart's. Now Janssen. Nice one across. But that is underdone. So the air is really creeping in for both teams in the late stages. So we start to grind our way through. And a timeout being called immediately by Janneke Kappelman, just saying, let's just chill things down. And so we can all take a brief pause for repose as the athletes discuss what they want to happen in this next section of play. So timeout over. Let's see what variety of setup we're going to get. Kappelman on the disc. Horizontal stack. Put both off handlers tucked to that far side of the pitch. Nice spacing from the horizontal stack though. Of course, stack being the terminology for this line of individuals. You've got a nice poach off on the far side from Coulart's, just trying to take care of that deep space, and a switch off for Dam. Those two have been playing many seasons together, so they have great communication if they do need to switch out. So the first reset, that one's going to require a big rundown. Oh, what a snatch. Now back. Oh, it's a beautiful put. That is actually picture perfect. What a shot from Damaris Rydberg. You can serve that on a slice of toast. Well, it's 3 on the bounce. And that will put Fabulous within 1 of Grut. In the very late stages of this match. Well, a timeout being taken by Grut to try and resettle the nerves and just try and figure out the combination to unlock the final required points in this game. So the timeout is done and both teams are lined up on the field. It does look like that universe point finish in Pool B in the women's division is going to be pretty clutch based on the overall records. But this to try and just punch in the final point for Grut. Can Fab bring us to level and the universe point situation? Oh, that's a big huck. Floor alerts underneath it. Oh, and she just can't quite bring it in bounds. There's a collision on the play afterwards. Hopefully both athletes will be okay. Neither one of them are coming up. You do not love to see it. The effort, absolutely. But hopefully both of them will be okay. It was a difficult shot to reel in. So we'll get some support on the field. The game on the far field does look to have wrapped up already. Not a huge amount of space between those two pitches. Just enough to have a sideline. The volunteers making the signal for, although the coach is making a signal. And so you can see the athletes warming up for the next game, which will be in the open division. Does look to be that Coulart has gotten up, but it's the Fabulous player that's put it all on the line. We will wait to see if there's going to be a call that will come out of that. To say it did look like Coulart was running out of room just on the throw. She will return to the field, and it is indeed a clean D.